All right, welcome back everybody. Today I have a neat little vacuum. It's really not little. It is a full-sized vacuum. This is the Shark Power Fin canister. So there are two canisters in this lineup. The one is a Shark Vertex canister. This one, the name is very simple. I think it's just called the Shark Bagless Power Fin canister. It's like corded canister or something like that. This one's not considered a Vertex model. And from what I've seen in the video, in the pictures and videos, there's a only difference is the power nozzle and the color. That's it. You don't get any additional tools. There are no additional features. It's just a champagne color instead of the silver. And this one's almost like a navy blue. Hopefully you can see it. It's like a matte navy. And it has just the standard power nozzle, which I actually prefer. But the story of this was I was looking on Amazon. I found some of their, I just typed in canister vacuums, and this was one of the canisters that they had. They were on sale, $100 off. The model with the Duo Clean, and that one's the Vertex, and then this one. And of course, I gravitated towards the Vertex. I think it was priced at $3.99 instead of the usual $4.99. And then this one was $2.99, which would typically be $3.99. So I was looking, but I went down to visit my friend in one of the cities at the southern part of my state, and I was like, you know what? As I was searching around to see if they had one of these at like Bed Bath & Beyond, they had them at one Target near where he lived. There were none available where I live though. So I was like, you know what? We're going to drive the extra 45 minutes and we're going to go get it. So that's what I did. I went down and I picked it up. They only had this model there. They did not have the more expensive, the Vertex model. But again, upon inspecting the differences between the two models, I like this one better. I don't want to have to clean the Duo Clean brush roll. That does not prevent hair wrap very well, in my opinion. I have the concept of that power nozzle in my Vertex cordless upright. I'm not a fan of it. I think the power fins are a smart idea, and they do work really well, especially on some of the most difficult to clean carpets due to just brush rolls bogging down, and I want to show that in the video. But I've been using this for the last week and a half as the only vacuum that I have used, and honestly, I kind of really like it. For a bagless canister, there really aren't a lot on the market, and Shark does not make canisters very often. I think they've made one canister in the last like 6 years, and it was the Shark Rotator canister, kind of based off the powered lift away, and I believe they called it the power lift away because you could detach part of the canister and kind of take it off the wheels. But this one, they say it has dynamic technology, which literally just means that it can stand upright like this, and it does have very good footing, especially on hard surfaces. You can see here the dynamic technology. It shows you it can just kind of work on carpet, hard floors, stairs, self-cleaning brush roll, the multi-flex technology, which honestly is a really cool feature if this is your only vacuum and you like to clean underneath things that are typically not easy to clean underneath. It is a little difficult to use on carpets, I won't lie, with the multi-flex action. The dust cup releases with these two. You can just use the one, but I typically just pinch both sides and slide it backwards like this. And it takes just a little coaching to come off of there. Typically, I remove it when it's laying flat. Now, here is the downside. This works just like almost every other Shark on the market. There is some sort of a dust separator, which is this centerpiece, and you'll be able to see it better when I open it. But you can look, I mean, it is pretty dusty. the vacuum is pretty dusty, no lie. I don't think that it's dirt escaping the cyclone. I think that it's just from opening it and closing it. And it was very staticky. There's dust and dirt that's just static all over the vacuum itself. So I'm not particularly blaming this. So I'll put it in the actual position that it would be in if you were using the canister. The hose is a little stiff, so the power nozzle likes to tip sometimes. But usually it stands up just fine. But if you look, the dirt is primarily here on the back. But this down here is actually relatively clean where the dirt comes into the filter. So really, this dirt it's all static charged if you look at it. It's really all static. I don't think that it's really leaking because it wouldn't leak back here per se. This is actually sealed under under negative pressure here. So this is pretty much sealed. I really think it's just from opening and closing it. And this is the trap door here, but everything's just kind of dusty, but more in like an electrostatic way. I can't confirm it 100%, but when you look at the post-motor filter, it does have a post-motor HEPA filter. Pops out of here. The filter's clean. So, and that's kind of the same story with sharks. Like the expelled air is usually pretty clean. It's just like the unit itself on the pre-motor side gets relatively dirty. And these filters get relatively dirty. They are easy to clean, and typically you can get extras on Amazon, things like that, just to have extras on hand. But these are always very well sealed filters too. I may even have to put this down. There we go. It took a lot of pressure to get that thing to close. So honestly, I think that the expelled air is actually pretty clean. There is a cord or a hook here for the back, so you can put the power nozzle there. You can see these rubber feet. It's a nice touch. The cord rewind works very well. I never use the power switch because everything's controlled on the handle, as it should be. This machine I got it for $330, $329, I think. It was on sale like 40 bucks off or 50 bucks off, I think, at Target. So I think it might have been like $350, which is $50 more than if I had waited. I could have saved 50 bucks if I had waited and just ordered it on Amazon, but I wanted it. And I also used this at my friend's apartment, and actually it's a townhouse, and he just moved in, allegedly had the carpets cleaned, but he only has a Roomba for a 3-level townhouse that's all carpet. So I used this, and we got quite a bit of fine, like dark, talky dirt. So I did just empty this, and in traditional bagless fashion, it's dusty. And I think because of the way that sharks work, I'll take this off again and show you. They're just very, they don't really trap the dust and dirt in vessels very well. So this is the dirt or the dust cup door trap. And then these two pinchers here, if you squeeze them like this, you can actually pull the cyclone out. So this is the cyclone. It does tend to get a lot of hair wrap around it, so I don't like having to remove this every time. There's a gasket around it, but when you have this in place, I think I might have this backwards. I do. Come on. No, I don't. Come on. It snaps in like that, but you can see this is the only inlet here for the dust to come in, from that line there to this line over here. And yes, it's very dusty, it's very dirty in there, again, in traditional shark fashion. So I don't like taking that cyclone out all the time, but I do tend to have to do it sometimes. But that's, it just kind of slings it over that plastic piece there, and then it stays trapped. So it's difficult sometimes to reach up into this little slot and pull the hair out. So yeah, sometimes you have to take that bottom of the canister out. And I know it looks bad. It really does look bad when I'm showing you this dirty dust cup. But I mean, it's a bagless vacuum, so. But it's very quiet. That's the first time I've ever used the power switch there. You can see it kind of cleaned itself up a little bit right there just by turning it on. Now, the Multiflex, they've really cleaned it up over the years. It's less ugly, it's less visible than it has been in the past. The wand, I don't even think I really put the wand together. It might have come in 2 pieces, but I feel like it came separately. There is a clip here, like some of the previous Sharks. You can attach it right here in the back, on the back of the attachment bracket. There is also, starting from the bottom, rubberized wheels, the power fins, which they have some soft bristles on them as well, if you look at them. It does stay relatively clean, I won't lie. It doesn't have a lot of trapping compared to my other Shark. These rubber fins, which over time I fear that they'll crack and split just from being worn. But it's almost like feels like a composite brush roll. There are some nice soft bristles here that kind of aid in the sweeping action for like bare floor cleaning. And this nice fluffy, fuzzy strip back here to help eliminate kickback. There's also a clean out port down here. Again, rubber wheels. Again, in traditional Shark fashion, the wheels tend to catch a little bit of fuzz. LED headlight up here, which on the box and in the owner's manual, but specifically on the box, it shows that the lights are supposed to be down here, and it's not. So that was like, maybe they ran out of things during COVID, like supplies, and they just kind of did whatever. There's a quick release here to be able to quickly release the wand. I like that. Shark doesn't make you pay extra for a model that has that. They didn't make you have to buy the Vertex model to have that, which I like. I do also like the quick release here. I'm doing this with one hand for this upper handle. I've had a couple Sharks with that design, and I like this a lot. A nice big tab. You don't have to try and squeeze something. You know, you can do this with one finger. Whereas the pinch ones, you have to like push the button in, but in turn you also have to hold the back because you can't just push, otherwise it'll tip over. I like that as well. Hose, retainer, restrainer, whatever you want to call it, for when, to try and help prevent the cracking, which again, Shark does that on even their uprights typically. A cool touchpad that's rubberized. You've got your power switch, the mode for hard floor and carpet, which it slows the brush roll down. It still continues to spin, but very slowly. You can't even really hear it. And it almost feels like it would bog down on carpeting or stop even if you used it on carpet. And then suction level increase. There's 3 suction levels. It always starts in the middle. You can bump it up 1 to go to high, or go to low with 2 clicks, go past high and then down to low. I always use the high suction power unless I'm doing that delicate carpet that I was talking about. There's a light indicator to show you the power's on. And the brush roll does not spin in the upright position either. So you can see here, that would be carpet, that's hard floor, high power, low power, super quiet. And it's a very pleasant tone too. It is not obtrusive. It's not like that whiny single stage shrilly sound like a lot of vacuums have. I remember when Shark started to produce the vacuums that have that nice tone, and it sounds just like my powered rotator lift away. I really like the color of it, and there is a really neat power nozzle design, I do like that it is slim to be able to get into tighter areas, but it immediately reminds you that I wish it was a little bit larger for wide open carpeted spaces. And unfortunately, they didn't really hit the nail on the head there. I think that they should have made the brush roll a little bit bigger, especially because, or the brush roll, the power nozzle a little bit bigger, because the brush roll is gonna be smaller naturally in the power head, so you're really not even cleaning as wide as the cleaner head is. So it definitely needs to be a wider cleaner head, especially for a canister vacuum. It takes a little bit more time to vacuum, I think, with a canister, but you do a better job. This thing has plenty of power. And as I'm looking here, I forgot to note, this crevice tool also has these little rubberized nubs on it to help with like getting into like pet hair that's just along seams. My only complaint about it is you pretty much have to lay the crevice tool totally flat to use it. And how would you have the handle flat to the ground? With the handle attached, you wouldn't probably be able to get any lower than maybe like this. And, you know, you're barely touching the carpet with these teeth. So, just a little bit of a thought there. All right. So let's give it a try. We're gonna power it on, and you'll see the brush roll spins very slowly. Now it's up. And you can hear the crunchies. One thing I forgot to mention was the canister itself has, almost tipped it because it's got the cord under it. If I move the cord out of the way, it was stuck under this wheel. That's my fault. The cord does have a nice length to it, but the canister itself has swivel casters. It's very easy to move around, and you can push it right out of the way, like a Miele. It does a really good job at grooming the carpet. Nice swivel neck, too. Getting quite a bit of stuff up, honestly. I haven't been home in a couple days, so nobody's vacuumed. And notice, I'm vacuuming over here. I'm not using all of my hose either. And the canister's still in the same spot. I haven't really had to move it, and that's one thing that I have noticed with many canister vacuums that I have had in the past. I'm actually going to stop right here. It stays illuminated for a little bit, and then it turns off. Just little premium touches and features. But, one thing that I have noticed with many canisters in the past, and it was probably the biggest concern of mine when I got this thing, of course the power nozzle for one, but secondly, was it going to bother me? Because a lot of the time when vacuum manufacturers don't do a lot of work with canisters, they miss the mark somewhere. On this canister, I feel like it's the power head. It works really well. It's got plenty of power. It does a great job grooming. It does a great job deep cleaning. But it's a little too small. You can see just with like my foot comparison, my foot's a little bit bigger. I was wearing an 11 shoe. But the canister itself with the hose, I am not bothered by the canister. The canister is very light. It does not feel like I'm using my old Kenmore 21514 progressive, where it was constantly like at my ankles and I couldn't get any cleaning done because it was constantly just climbing up my leg because the hose was too short. I want to say this hose is probably around 6.5, maybe 7 feet long. It's not touching the ground, no, but it's not having any trouble staying upright because there's not enough hose length. So I will give it that. On our way over here, and the canister even follows along nicely. It doesn't slither into different directions. I'm stuck. There we go. On the cord. That's one thing, is it does not like to roll over the cord very easily. Let's pick this up. But, I mean, not a lot of canisters do. Let's do a little bit of bare floor. Nice clean cut. To activate this, there's a little button on the back. And you can get way underneath and around things that you typically wouldn't be able to get around. Without moving the whole chair. But this was really what I wanted to show. Come on, little canister. I put it up too high and it stopped the brush roll. Is this rug in here? I put it on low suction. Ooh. This rug has been one of the most difficult rugs to clean, and you could see on high suction power it stopped. Actually, I had it on the hard floor setting, but it can clean it. On low suction, it can clean this rug. I'm gonna shut it off here and I want to show you guys. This is this rug is gross. It's in my parents' bedroom, but I mean, it's very, very, very long, thready. There's no way that you could clean anything typically, but look at the power nozzle. It stays clean. Even on the low suction setting, it stays clean. Now, I originally knew that this thing could probably do it because with the cordless, it's able to do it as well with the certain settings. If you put it on medium or high suction, it probably won't clean very well. And it'll be very hard to push along. But, I mean, to try and clean this rug is impossible. No other vacuum of mine can do it. So, to just keep this is definitely a throwaway rug. You'd never be able to clean it. It would take days to dry. But just to be able to vacuum it is going to keep it here a little bit longer, unfortunately. But, no, this thing, I'm very pleasantly surprised with this canister. I really think that it's a good buy. Even for collectors, to just give it a try. Give it a try, give it a go. You can always return it. For what it is, I think that it delivers really good. I'm not really anti-Shark, anti-Dyson by any means. I like to try everything, all vacuum cleaner brands. So you're not always going to see a video of mine shaming something before I even took it out of the box, or setting up a review to tell everybody why I don't like something before I even took it out of the box. So this thing is very surprising. I don't have any regrets on buying it. No intentions of returning it. If you're concerned, get the extended warranty. Go and buy it through Walmart.com, get the extended warranty, no questions asked. They'll give you your money back in 3-4 years, even if it craps out on you. So, but fingertip controls, a vacuum that follows you correctly, is more versatile. How could you make a canister more versatile with this little bendy thingy? You know, that really helps kick it up a notch. I do think that it should have come with a air-driven turbo tool at the least, especially for the price, because I think they do call this a pet canister. But you can take the wand off and connect the handle directly to the power head and use the power head on your couches, your ottomans, your mattresses, your floors in your car mats. Definitely, you can easily use it. So once again, this thing, I've been very pleasantly surprised. And also, this does rotate up here. Not easily, but it does rotate. So just keeping that in mind. But thank you guys for watching, and let me know if you guys ever were curious about buying one of these or have one yourself.